This is part 2. And I'm just gonna do a small introduction. Hello, I am Venus or Chance. If you have came across this on your For You page, I would suggest watching part 1, which is on my channel. Now, let's get into it. After coming across the weird figure, you begin to feel uneasy. Like, there was like a knot forming in your stomach, like a knot of unease. For some reason, that figure made you so unbelievably uneasy. Was it their presence? Was it them in general? Was it because you walked right into them? Who knows? But that figure, it didn't harm you. You began to walk down the hallway, still feeling unbelievably uneasy, and beginning to feel nauseous. You slowly start to walk more and more, until you find another room. It's a office room. It looks like it had a nameplate on it at one time, but now the nameplate's gone. There's evidence of the nameplate because there's some residue on where it was put, but it's nowhere in sight. You try opening the door and find it's locked. Then you get another wave of uneasiness. So you look down the hallway, both ways. You have realized shadows have started to creep and follow you. They weren't there when you were like walking down that hallway. They weren't there. Only now they are. Watching, waiting. You could have sworn you saw a pair of eyes in there, in the shadows. Just round, small, wide eyes, watching you. Until they blink and they're gone. So are the shadows. You still have that feeling of unease, which makes you feel off. You slowly start to walk down the hallway again, ignoring the door that doesn't have a nameplate on. And you come across another door, because you reached the end of the hallway. A shocker, right? You open that door. You're led into, yet again, another hallway. This time with stairs. There's one going up and down. There's a pair going up and down. And you realize you're either on the second layer of the theater or the third, which is the final layer. So you slowly start descending the stairs, and you find that there is an elevator, but it looks unsafe, to say the least. It's a very old-fashioned elevator, so you just ignore it. So you just continue to walk down the stairs, and you're walking, and you're walking, until you start to hear a pair of footsteps following behind you. And no, they're not trying to be silent. No. They're loud. Loud, heavy boots. Falling. Almost running. So you start to run too. You run down, and down, and down, and down. And then you get to a place where you can just hide. And you can hear the sound of the boots running by, but you see nothing. You see nothing. You hold your breath in, hoping that whatever that was, or whoever that was, does not find you. You're holding your breath in, your heart is pounding. You can hear your blood in your ears. You press yourself against where you're hiding, and you try to calm down. Nothing's working. So you sigh, and you wait until the boot steps are gone, and you slowly start descending the stairs again, more carefully than last time. Your steps now don't make a sound, afraid that's going to happen again. Until you look up. You look up, and there's nothing but shadows up there. What is with this place and having so many shadows? You think to yourself. Shouldn't there be, like, a light up there to help people, like, go up? Then you start to come to the realization, maybe people weren't supposed to be up there. Maybe that's why maybe that's why you're coming across so many things. You sigh, thinking you're insane. But you continue descending the stairs until you get to a flat level. And you look around for a door, and you find the door. It's titled Exit, and it leads you back into the circus. Finally. But it leads you to, like, the back area. So you're gonna have to walk all the way back around that whole entire theater. Which took a while, since that theater is quite large. You walk slowly around the circus, and you seem to notice that there's an array of clowns. Like, there's like 30 to a tent. So you're sitting there wondering, how in the world do they house so many clowns? You notice two that stand out. A blonde man with a smiley face mask on, and a brown-haired man with a blue frown mask on. They're both sitting in the clown tent, while the other clowns are just juggling or fooling around. You peer in there, and the blonde one with the smile mask looks at you, says nothing. But then the one with the frown mask looks at you and says, "Why are you here?" "Why are you here, listener? Didn't Nightshade tell you?" You think to yourself, "Who's Nightshade?" You speak up, Who's Nightshade? Where am I?" The man in the blue frown mask sighs. "You're in a circus, dearie." "I'm in a circus?" you say, hesitantly. The man nods. "You're in a circus called the Playhouse. If you don't know who Nightshade is, then he hasn't revealed himself to you. He does that. He's annoying as crap. Nightshade is the leader? I don't know what to call him. Our father? I don't know. He has over 30 kids?" You question loudly. The man in the blue frown mask laughs and smiles under his mask. "No, we're all adopted. Well, we're all adopted, or we come from somewhere." You speak up again. What are all of you?" The man in the blue frown mask just shrugs and laughs and doesn't answer your question. So you sigh and walk off again. You come across another tent. This time, you're met with two twins? You think? There's a tall woman with, like, dark brown hair, tan skin, and she has on a deer skull mask. Now, if you've ever seen a deer skull mask, you're supposed to be able to look through the eye sockets. Not hers. Her brother is smaller than her, and he has the same type of hair, but shorter. And he wears the same type of mask. And also you can't see his eyes. They both look at you, look at each other, and nod. And then they just shoo you off politely. You come across more tents and more tents, but none of them really strike you very much, other than the one with the weird man in the frown mask. Until you come across a tent that's boarded off, and it spikes your curiosity, because of course it does. You're that type of person. Yes, this is targeted at you. You know who you are. I'm specifically targeting that to someone on my channel. The answer is all of my kids. Anyway, you get intrigued by that tent. So you slowly peer your head in. It's a void. Another void. Until you get pushed. Then you realize that tent must be yours because there's no people in there. And hold on. My earbud fell out. Anyway, there are no people in that tent, and it's not the tent you woke up in. It's another one. The colors are kind of bright and friendly, but there's really nothing in your tent other than some supplies and stuff like that. You're sitting in your tent attempting to calm yourself despite not knowing where you are and how you ended up in this circus that you don't know of. You have no memory of. But for some reason, it has that strange feeling that you've been here before. Somehow, someway. You see a few acrobats walk by your tent. Some of them backflipping, others just cartwheeling. Or just ones that are just walking normally. Looking at the ones being dramatic, like, why the crap am I here? You find yourself smiling at them. Classic comedy. To keep yourself sane. You decide from then on out you would people watch, or creature watch, or whatever they are. You sit with your knees up to your chest, kind of looking out your tent. You see a few normal-ish dancers walk by. Then you see ones with more unsettling features. Like, one of them has some of their skin, like, voided out by shadows. Others have multiple limbs or arms. Others are tall and just non-human. You see one that kind of intrigues you. They're tall, slightly, and they have pale skin. Their hair is white, long, and curly. They have black eyes, glasses, and they appear to be walking with another person, and not a group. Their name tag reads Spawn. First name tag you've been able to read, huh? Spawn. And their friend Norman? Norman is an odd old man's name, you think. But you keep that thought to yourself as you just continue to people watch. The sun eventually goes down, and you realize the circus darkens a lot when the sun is down. You kind of peer out your tent because your tent is lit up a little bit. And you can see nothing. Just nothing. Like the circus never existed there. Until you wake up. That had been a dream. But was it? Was it a dream? Or are you going insane? And then you realize you're still in the tent. It wasn't a dream. You're still in the tent. You're still very much there. You realize you must have fallen asleep somehow, some way last night and just don't remember it. You shrug to yourself, trying to get up, but then you realize there are vines wrapped around your limbs. Like, not holding you up or suspending you. No. You're in almost the same position you were in while sitting, but your hands are clasped together and your feet are pulled tightly together. Someone wrapped you up somehow, some way. The wrapping doesn't feel tight as in it might cut off your blood, but just tight. You slowly shimmy yourself out of them and you stand back up. You walk out the tent and you're met with, the same tents, same stuff. Until you realize it's a gloomy-ish day and there's another tent. Well, two other tents. You don't know because you haven't checked out all of the tents yet. You don't even know what most of the tents represent because sometimes they have weird symbols and you're like, what the crap is that supposed to mean? But you sigh and just walk back in your tent and sit back down on the ground. The vines have retreated somehow, some way. So you're just sitting on the ground, face first, thinking about how the crap did I get here. There. I think that will be all of the intro I'm giving y'all. Hopefully. Unless I get sparked to make it a longer intro. Anyway. That's hopefully the last intro. I'm going insane.